All right, we are recording. We are
We're
the
here.
real ones.
It's a little touch and go today.
It's like what to talk about. What to talk about.
We always have stuff to talk about. We just don't want to talk about the same thing over and over again. So
that's right. Yeah, we're trying to branch out.
We want to entertain people.
So we have a new one, a great new topic.
Great new things to share, for sure. That I think will continue to unfold as we research this and get more people to talk about it. Because I think, I think a lot of times when we have certain things in life that some people may think are like you would just call a disability, or something like I'm not as good at this as somebody else, or I can't do this. It puts limitations around it where there's this whole other avenue that we can open up and explore. And I think that's what's going to come from this conversation. So.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it's so funny because it was only today that I even knew that there's a term for what.
There's always a term. There's always a label. Always. We always have to label something, which makes it a thing, which then makes it a limitation because
right. And it creates the program, which then when you say I have this thing, then it just opens up this whole program that's like not even you're creating it from the program that's out there. Completely. It's not really happening.
Yeah. So, are we live on Facebook yet?
Just about
until we're there.
I know.
Even though we love our YouTube family, we most certainly do, and we're excited to have people following us on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I don't know where this is.
I didn't get a notification.
Not yet.
Live. And I can't look either.
I was going to say, I know you can't look.
Because I deleted it.
There's a roundy round thing going, so I don't know. We're probably live. We're probably live. Hey guys, but we haven't gotten notification yet, so we're not going to really go till. All right, here we go. I have to put a title.
So we'll just get the logistics done and then.
Exactly.
See where we go from there. I got a lot of sun this weekend.
Yeah?
I actually realized what it must feel like to be homeless, because we were in a park yesterday for like 7 hours and I fell asleep and I was under a tree, but then the sun moved, and then when I woke up, like my face, I felt like sandpaper. My face still feels. Oh, we're live on Facebook. Hey everybody.
Hey. Hello.
Yeah. So got a lot of color, got a little too much color yesterday, but.
So because the sun basically went over your face?
Yeah, so the sun came over and it was on my face for a couple of hours, and I don't know that I just didn't realize it, and I didn't sunblock. So my face was it felt very dry and tight, like leather.
Very leathery.
People that have been out in the sun too long. And I don't want to be that person, but I do love my son.
Don't be that person. I know too many people that are.
Yeah. I moved under the tree after that. So yeah, that's something I could highly recommend to people, to just go to a park, lay out a blanket under a tree and just read all day. My husband and I just read Neville Goddard yesterday, just all day, just laid under a tree. We had a picnic, and this park that we were at was actually like a dog park, family park. So we just like watched all these beautiful families and all this love and all this joy, and it was really just a good day. And we haven't done that in a long time. I just highly suggest it. We always did it when our kids were little. It was a great way to pass the time. I don't know why we don't do that more now, but we probably will. Well,
that's kind of like I used to we'd go into New York. We lived just an hour outside of New York, and my family would go in. And we loved it. We're like, why don't we do this more often? And we do it like twice a year.
Why don't we do this more? I know.
Exactly.
But it seems like we have a wonderful opportunity to do those things that feel, like relaxation and just letting go and just allowing yourself to live a little bit and enjoy.
Exactly. And so, hey, Lynn Jacob, I see you're on, and she says that would be so nice if it were to be warm around here. I guess up in Canada where she is, it's not very warm.
Yeah, I know. The East Coast is having a little trouble with the weather too. So yeah, let's just envision that sunny, warm weather for everybody. Yeah, that does help. It does help a lot.
That's what we have here in Maui, and that's why I love living here so much, because it's always sunny and warm. And that's why my hair is wet. I just got back from the beach, and no makeup on. That's what we were just talking about too, is like here in Maui, even when you were here, right? You don't feel the need
wear any makeup.
to put makeup on. And so I'm just going to own that, because when I put it on just to go on this show, I'm like, why am I doing that? So
I
makeup
actually
free,
put makeup
Lisa.
on every day now because I wanted to feel more normal.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that. I've been getting up and exercising and showering and getting dressed and putting makeup on. And I think my husband appreciates it. He comes home and I look more normal, like I was in sweatpants for like a couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah. I just feel kind of yucky. So I want to feel normal, and I want life to feel like I'm living it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, one of the things I've been doing, I'm not going to torture anybody, but hey, I've been taking, we talked about this on one of the prior episodes, that I was going to take some ukulele lessons.
We want to hear it. When you have a song ready, we are totally game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not ready yet, but at least I got it out. I got the tuner, although I'm having a hard time finding a battery, because here on Maui, they are sold out of the battery I need for my little tuner.
Well, what is it? I'll send you one.
It's that's a good idea, because I tried to get Amazon to send it and they wouldn't send me a battery. I don't know if you can send a battery in the mail. It's a lithium battery, because I guess it's those little round ones. It's a CR2032. If anybody here on Maui happens to have an extra CR2032, I'm looking for that for my little tuner.
We can make this page work for many things.
Yes, exactly.
So we were entertaining a really cool conversation about visualization, and we stumbled upon something that I think many people can probably relate to. I am a really good visualizer. Like, if you tell me something, I can see it, I can picture it. It's really easy. I literally have movies going on in my head, and I've been doing it a lot lately. I can see it, I can feel it. But the thing is there's people that I've definitely run into have told me, oh, I can't visualize. And I've always thought to myself, well, if you tell yourself you can't visualize, then obviously you're going to create that limitation in your mind. But when I'm talking to someone like Lisa, who obviously does not have a lot of limitations going on, and she tells me that she has the same sort of situation. And tell me
so this is so funny, because my son calls me, my son's 24 and he's in Philadelphia, and he's like, Mom, I just read this article and I wanted to ask you, because he's like, I have this situation and I wanted to know if it was like genetic or whatever. And so he tells me the name of this condition. I'm just going to put it in quotes. It's aphantasia, APHANTASIA. I don't know how you say it. Aphantasia.
Right.
And I'm going to read you what the Wikipedia thing is: a condition where one does not possess a functioning mind's eye and cannot voluntarily visualize imagery. The phenomenon was first described by Francis Galton in 1880, but has since remained largely unstudied. And apparently, I mean, then it goes on to, people ask, is this a disability? Like, because I dream. When I dream, I'm a very visual dreamer. So I know I have the ability. Yeah. But I have, like, if you said to me, close your eyes, Lisa, and imagine an apple. No, I have to, I don't visualize an apple. I've seen enough apples in my lifetime that I can imagine an apple, but I just get black, I guess.
But you don't get a picture of it.
I don't have a picture. I don't get movies running in my mind. It's Jenna. Hey, Jenna. She's saying, I always find it helpful to visualize a scenario in advance to prepare, such as a presentation or explaining something.
That's pre-paving the energy, Jenna. Really.
Something at work, which is great. But again, like for me, I'm curious, Jenna, if you actually visualize like seeing a movie in your head, or if it's because apparently most people can visualize. Right. And like you said, I mean, I've always had this, and I've been meditating for 20 plus years or whatever. So I don't think it's because I'm not trying hard enough.
It's not a focusing issue.
Right. Sure. And it's not like I even knew there was a name for this until today.
Right.
So I wasn't buying in.
Oh, I have this condition.
Right. Yeah. I wasn't like saying, oh, I've got a disability, because I have said I'm third eye blind. I make a joke of it. I'm third eye blind. But Jenna says she sees movies in her head. So
yeah, so do I. And the interesting thing about it is, what we were talking about was like, just like a blind person where they have these heightened senses. When it comes to visualizing, the part about visualizing that people, I think, can disconnect from as far as like manifestation is evoking the feeling. So if you're just visualizing and you're just seeing something as a movie playing out, you're really just daydreaming, right? If you just have those pictures. But if you're evoking feelings, like if you're feeling what it feels like to really be there, and I think sometimes this is a practice that might take a little while as you keep your visions going. The feeling is the manifestation. That's what creates the activation of energy, and that's what tunes you into the frequency and allows this manifestation to become physical in your experience. But for Lisa, if she's not seeing it, I believe you're feeling it probably at a heightened level because of the way that you manifest things.
I think, I know, because that's the thing you and I were talking about, because I mean, I am an incredible manifester, as you are.
Right.
But again, you've trained, and I mean, I've trained too, but the fact that I don't see the visual and yet can still manifest like a boss.
So the visual is not necessary.
So it's not necessary to visualize. It's because I think I've always had to rely on the feeling of what, like when I close my eyes and think of an apple, it's like I'm like having to use my other senses to create the idea of an apple in my head, which like I just ate an apple. So in my mind right now, I'm like, oh yeah, that crunchy, crisp, yummy, the coldness on my fingers, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's so curious. And I'm curious, people watching, guys, like type in, let us know, do you see movies in your head or do you get black? Like literally I close my eyes, I get black. And when I've channeled, interestingly, I remember so clearly, I was in Westport doing a group, and it was the first time that I started getting a little bit of visual when I was channeling, but I was looking at a woman and I closed my eyes and I immediately saw a person, just like an outline, but the hair was like bright yellow. And I'm like, I don't see the person. It was almost like a black, just blank face, but this bright yellow hair. And I said that, and she's like, oh my God, my mom used to color her hair like yellow. Yeah. Like really, really yellow. And I said, well, then your mom's here, because I'm seeing bright yellow, which I've never seen before,
So interesting.
So yeah, so I do get, I mean, I have just tiny glimpses of little things, but it's so rare that happens.
So for you, if you were to, because we've been talking a lot about this with the Neville Goddard books of the imagery and allowing the imagery to kind of guide your visions and to create in the physical manifestation. So when you have a desire, what's your advice to people that possibly have this this situation? I don't want to call it any kind of disability, because I think people probably think that they have a disability if they have this, especially if you've gone to meditations and you've tried guided imagery and it doesn't work for you. Like, what would be your advice to people of how to kind of let that go? Like, let the fact that you don't visualize go and work more in the scope of the feeling.
Well, that's the exciting part. I'm feeling like it's almost, to me, it's almost a shortcut to be able to go right to the feeling, because then you don't have the visual distraction. Because it's like you can get caught up in the there was one other time I remember so specifically about I was doing a yoga nidra. I don't know if you know what that is, but you just lay on the floor and then somebody guides you through your body.
Yep.
And it's like, literally they take you, they're like, imagine your right index finger and then imagine your middle finger. I mean, it's a very slow kind of monotone, but it's very, very relaxing. Yeah. And I remember we were doing it, and then he got to the eyeball and he's like, imagine your eyeball. And all of a sudden, this like eyeball is there with all of the muscles and it was almost like a diagram from a medical book or something, is all I can tell you, and it was so startling because I don't normally get any image, and it stopped me, and I was just like, whoa, So I can't imagine if you guys are getting that all the time. Like, I would be just mesmerized by seeing what I'm seeing.
It's true.
And I don't get that. So, I mean, all I get is a blank. I just get black. So when I'm thinking about like even moving, I'm trying to remember when I first moved to Maui, and I kept telling you, like, I'm going to end up in a crappy apartment because that's all there is. And you're like, no, you're not. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to imagine like I have
the same conversation I had with you before I moved to California.
Exactly. Right. We get into
credit is bad and I'm going to end up homeless.
Right. I'm like, no, it's all good. It's not going to be good. but then I just started visual and again, feeling like, oh my God, what would it feel like to be able to wake up and look out and see an ocean view and have a beautiful bedroom and space and And then of course, boom, it just landed. You know, I had somebody, I had a spirit tell me, look in Craigslist right now. And that's how I found my thing. Cause I listened to my intuition.
That's fantastic. So. And you know, that's a really good segue into, creating through the miraculous. You know, when we get into this feeling place and we create these through these leaps of faith, which we both did when we moved. And Mike and I were just talking about this yesterday because so many things happened when we moved to California that we could have never guessed. Like we could have never said, this is the way it's going to go down. Like we were connected to people from Facebook that connected us to other people, and just like to follow the trail of all that. And it's still happening, you know, it's still happening even to this day, where these miracles are coming to us because we've got this faith in our abundance and we have this feeling of well-being, and we know that we're exactly where we're supposed to be. I mean, every single day we wake up with so much gratitude for where we live and what we get to experience here, that you just create through this confidence. You start to create through confidence, and then you can make these leaps of faith, and you can watch as these miracles happen. And that's why even in the state of the circumstances right now, it's like, if we can just pull above, and my hawk has been out here all freaking day, this hawk, and this hawk is sitting, okay, I go to take a shower and you can see a few trees. The hawk is in the tree while I'm taking a shower. Like, wow. I'm not, you can't make this shit up. And the crows are going after it today. I mean, there's 3 of them and they're bombing on this hawk, and it's just sitting very stoic in its tree. So I thought, you know, I'm going to look up the meaning again, because I need to know what this means, because obviously this hawk really wants me to know. And it's higher perspective. It's pulling yourself above these perspectives, like this, like down in the minutia of all this bullshit, right? And it's pulling ourselves way up, and it's saying, okay, where's the miracles? Like, where's the miracles that are happening? Where is the stuff that's shifting and changing? And where is our world getting better? And where are we becoming more faithful about our well-being? I mean, I don't think I've ever felt so fucking healthy in my life right now. Seriously, like, I feel healthy and strong. And that's my mantra every single day. I feel healthy and strong. And that's why it's like, there's this commitment to this. And when you get really excited about abundance and living your life fully to the fullest, as full as you can right now, then there's no fear that gets in the way of that. Nothing, no economic crisis, nothing gets in the way of that, because you're like tunnel visioned, right? So if you can't visualize it, and even if you are visualizing it, the most important thing is the feeling of it.
Feel it. Exactly. Absolutely. I just want to mention,
how do you feel it though? How do you feel it if you've never experienced it?
Well, that's it. And so I just want to mention, Jenna says, so when you do guided meditations, you do not visualize what's going on, Lisa? And no, I don't. It's hard to put into words.
When you channel, it's just words. That's the thing. When we channel, it's just words that come through. We don't get visions. It's just words just come out of our mouths, right?
Yeah.
Would you describe it like that?
I would say that. And even like, as I'm channeling a guided meditation, I don't know. It's like, even though I'm blind, it's like it's happening. I'm feeling it. Like, it's real. I guess that's what it is. It's
why I think
real.
The feeling might be a little more intense for you.
Yeah.
There is no distraction of viewing.
I think so. And it's just, it's an interesting thing. It's kind of like trying to describe, I guess, you know, how a blind person walks through a room, because that's what I'm doing, is I'm walking through the room, but yet I don't see the treasure chest, but I know there's a treasure chest there, because I can feel that it's there.
That's,
you know,
faith, baby.
Or there's a staircase, and that's faith. Just knowing that it's that whatever is coming out, it's like, oh, it's there. Oh, something just happened.
What was that?
I don't know. My
Still
emails
live on Facebook.
Okay, good. For some reason my mail is just opening up on its own. I don't know. There's ghosts happening here. Ghostbusters. Let me go. Quit mail. There we go. I'm back. So it's Woo! Like, it's faith, and it's just knowing and feeling that it's there. And maybe that's why, I mean, yeah, some of the stuff I manifest is just so instantaneous.
Well, and it's so true, and it's so miraculous, right? It's like there's so often, so many times when we've been looking for houses or, you know, looking for opportunities to create income. There's been situations that come and you're just like, I could have never in a million years thought that would have happened that way.
That's
And because of that, like, that's how your faith grows, right? And when you live kind of on the edge of life where you're not living through the mundane and you're not just kind of like getting by and just like whatever, I don't really think that people are going to get away with that anymore. I think we're going to have to start living life a little more fully and feeling more capacity for joy. I think that's the beautiful.
Well, and with intention, right? And that's what it is. It's feeling with that, or creating with intention and purpose, and the feeling of it, rather than just rolling through life and letting life happen to you. It's like, which is kind of what's happening right now. Like, all this stuff is happening to us. And so the only way to take it back is to really be here now, be in this moment. And what can you do right now? And then going forward, it's what is that feeling that you want to create in your life, and just focus on that beautiful feeling. Again, if you're just tuning in, let us know. Do you visualize? Do you see movies in your head when you visualize? Or like me, I get nothing. I close my eyes. It's a blank slate. And it's mainly just a feeling that I have, or a knowing of what's happening, but I don't visualize anything. And so we were talking about this as the difference, and how you can still manifest. It doesn't matter. I mean, Goldyn is a master manifester and she visualizes. I'm a master manifester and I don't visualize. So there's no reason to think that you can't manifest, whether you see stuff or not.
It's taking it beyond visualization, and it's taking it into the feeling is the manifestation. And, you know, asking yourself throughout the day, when we're talking about identity creation, when we're talking about reality creation, it's becoming that person every single day. So if you're waking up and you're depressed and you're in a bad mood and you're just like pissed off at life, you're not connecting with any of your desires because you're on that low frequency. So it's like, this is a really good question. How can I raise my vibe in every moment? You know, like, what am I contemplating in this moment? Like, what am I feeling? The feeling is the most important thing all throughout the day. And I know right now we're probably in the biggest challenge of our life in creating these high vibes, but we absolutely have the freedom to do it because we have the freedom of this. And, we have the freedom of music and the outdoors and love and appreciation. And when you get yourself in that tuning to that appreciation and love, you're in it. You're in it. Whatever it is that you want to create, you're in it. When you release your problems, when you draw your attention away from your problems, that's when they start to go away.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing. You can't focus on your problem and expect it to be any different than just complete problem right in your face. So it's like you gotta
the problem and the solution are different frequencies. So you have to get off the problem to tune into the solution, and you will feel the shift in energy just by letting go, by letting shit go.
Yeah, exactly. Which I was going to say, because that's what I had to do that, right? With my whole, like, trying to meet somebody and date somebody and whatever. I don't even know what I was doing. And I finally let go, right? And then
hanging on way too freaking
and then guess what happened? Look what just happened. Here, I've got a little.
Oh, I think is this the first time you're revealing this out into the
pretty much, other than in our one of the things we just released, the new Get Your Power Back or something. I forget what we just released.
Truth activation, and then
truth activation. That's it. Yeah. I talked about it in there, about how our program, when we worked with our mastermind group, really released a lot of stuff for me. So anyway, I just want to introduce Steve, my new love in my life. And we're just having
one of the biggest shifts that I saw you do with that was like you were living in the lack of it. And I just saw you over the course of a very short time, just a few weeks, of just continually letting it go and being happy, being by yourself, just being happy, creating with me, just being you, and not feeling like you needed anything different, or you needed things to be needed a person there all the time. And then it was like,
yeah, it was total surrender. It was absolutely the surrender. And that's what I just wanted to say for anybody right now wanting to create anything in your life. It's letting go of the needing it, the wanting it, because the needing and wanting is a different energy than complete surrender. And then and it was astonishing to me, the shift in it. It was freaking unbelievable. And in conjunction with that is allowing myself, about a week before I met him, I had this full realization of I deserve to
the worthiness piece was huge.
Worthiness piece for me was huge. Yeah. And again, this was all because we did our mastermind group with our amazing group, and we did so much work, and we're releasing.
We are releasing the modules on that, and we're also going to be bringing a lot of this to the retreat that is still happening in July, and this is going to be up close and personal, so it's going to be probably the most life-transforming thing that we've ever done with people.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can look at our website for that, therealones.com, because we're still doing it. I'm going to Maui, and we have participation, and why the hell not, right?
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Living fearlessly and fully. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So again, manifesting, like everything, the man of your dreams. It's possible. I did it. It's amazing.
It's all possible. And that's
it's possible.
If you have
everybody
the vision for it, it's already been created. It's just a matter of you tuning into the feelings of it to bring that into your physical experience. It's already there.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be able to have the thought if it wasn't already in the creation world, if it wasn't already created.
Right. Because even having that desire, it's because it's been created and it's popping into your consciousness, because it's already been. And that's what's so cool about the book. I've got it over there, the complete
Neville Goddard.
Let me grab it real quick. 1 second.
He's like the godfather. He's good. He's dense. He's got a lot to say, and it's a lot to swallow. But I think
lots of books going on here.
It's a whole new level of manifesting and understanding how manifestation happens.
This is the complete reader. The complete reader, Neville Goddard, and so I'm just in the very beginning, but wow, it's so all 10 of his books.
Well, and the thing that I'm really loving about Neville is he's so in tuned with a lot of people that I've fallen in love with. Like a lot of his stuff is very similar to Fred Dodson, who I love, and Diane Collins is another one. I'm hoping to get her on our show. She wrote Do You Quantum Think? I mean, these are just leading edge thinkers that, this information is here for us to understand, to up level into. It's like we already know this stuff. It's just kind of like unlocking taking the veil off, unlocking the door that's been closed, the forgetting that we've been part of.
Mm-hmm.
We're just all remembering.
Exactly. And it is so interesting because he does talk about like the Bible, but in a whole new way, that it's really a scientific, it's metaphors. It's not, and I just it just blew my mind. I'm like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Because I've always not been a fan of, like, yes, they're great stories, but I'm just like, to me, it's a game in telephone. The story got told and told and told, but the way he explains it like unlocks the secret to me for what the Bible really is.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And Florence Scovel Shinn is another one who did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
She took the Bible and just put it in a totally different, manipulation or a different way of expressing it, which just makes a lot more sense to me. And I mean, he lived at a time where things were very different than they are now. And this stuff still totally applies, which is really cool. Yeah. So that's Neville. We could talk about Neville all day. I'm so into his stuff right now.
Yes, exactly.
But one of the things that Lisa and I have been talking about is just working on our stuff, the stuff that we want to do and the dreams that we have to create a show where lots of people can be a part of this and understand this. And just, for me, I think it's waking people up to their power. That's always gotten me really excited. And so, we're talking about doing a show, having a show together, not just on YouTube, not just on Facebook, but really bringing this to the masses in a way where we can start to shift the consciousness of the world. So we've been talking about that, and movie premieres that we want to do for documentaries that we want to create, and living life in a higher consciousness, like all the things that we're really excited about. We would love to be a part of what your visions are. Like, what are they? We can amp them up. I did it with Pete recently on his English garden. It was so much fun to actually picture myself in Pete's garden with Pete. I mean, how fun. He just seems like a blast, I'm sure. So if you guys want to be a part of that, then just start posting it in the group. What are your visions? What do you want to create? Because everything is freaking possible. And the more focus and attention we give it, and the more we all amp up the energy of it, the faster it's going to go. Quantum leaping right now is like, we have a wide open field right now because there's a lot of people not taking advantage of it. So we can pull ourselves up and create those lives that we're interested in creating really fast, super fast.
Absolutely. Super exciting. Yeah. So guys, like start a new thread in the Real Ones and say, you know, what your dreams and desires are, and we will jump on there and we will amp it up. And
don't be shy.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Do this. Right.
And there was something I'm trying to remember we were going to do. Oh yeah. Maybe we're going to do like a webinar or something. I forget what the webinar was now. We talked about, we always have these amazing ideas.
We do. Yeah. And, I don't remember what that one was.
Yeah.
It's it has not been a time of creating for me. I'm not sure why that is, but my hawk is telling me that I need to get back to that.
Back to it.
I need to get back to my focus and creating, and I no longer have a toddler in my house. So
that's right. Yeah. You've freed up
anymore. Yeah.
You're back to where you were a couple months ago, because you had a father-in-law there and then you had a toddler. So
I know. Yeah. Yesterday was interesting because I just feel this, like I have no like real obligations right now. Like I don't have this, gotta have people in my house, or it feels good.
That's
it feels
nice.
Like a whole new freedom.
Good. Fantastic.
So so we're excited about what's being created. We are interested in what everyone else is creating, and we're looking to take this to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going.
And hopefully Wednesday, we're going to have another show Wednesday. Hopefully we have a guest who has been a little challenging to pin down, but I think it's going to be worth it.
Yes.
And we're looking to get a few more guests on that are going to be super fun and interesting, and just take thought beyond where it's been before, just like have these leading edge conversations that open people up to new possibilities in unlimited potentials of how to live.
That's right. That's right. Cool. And Donna Brickwood says, hey, beautifuls. Hi, Donna. Sending you big love and hugs.
Yay. It feels good to feel some Facebook love.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to jump over to YouTube, and we're going to pull some cards over there, and maybe even, I don't know, we might channel.
You never know. You should follow us.
Yeah, you should go to YouTube and subscribe and listen in.
Our stuff at the end usually is the best.
That's right.
Play it, so
you don't want to miss it.
Save that for our YouTube followers, because we are YouTube sensations.
That's right. We are. Woo! All right. We love you, Facebook. Much love.
See you on YouTube.
Okay. It is all YouTube.
Woo!
Nice. Donna just said, moi, time to go beyond. Yes.
Nice.
It is time to go beyond.
I love that.
Let's start with pulling cards.
Yeah, let's pull some cards on manifestation, visualizing, creating, feeling.
I like it.
What really matters in that game of choosing your life path. Wisdom. Oh my gosh.
What?
When we do that? That means this is really important, you guys.
Yeah, and this is the blockage card, is wisdom.
So what I'm picking up from this is that people don't feel like they have enough information to be able to be really good at manifesting. And I was talking to Mike about this yesterday, and he was saying, you need to not, he's so smart sometimes. Because I study a lot, I tend to overcomplicate things. And it's like, this manifesting stuff is so freaking easy. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Once you get out of your own way and you start thinking and feeling and realizing and just assuming that persona, that you don't even need to read Neville Goddard's stuff. You don't. You really don't.
We have everything within. It's just that we think we need direction. We think we need somebody to tell us how to do it. We think we don't have the wisdom, and that's why this is the blockage card.
All right. So maybe we need a simplification little webinar. Like a super simple guide to manifesting. Maybe that's what it is.
Exactly.
All right, I like that. Sweet.
I like it too. All right. So then the action card. Ooh, strength. Accept and strength.
Accept your strength.
Well, accept that you have everything you need, and it is a strength.
You are. Yeah, how powerful you are.
Absolutely. And that's
because I think it's easy to look at us and the things that we've created and what we've done and said, you know, yeah, that's great for them because they had the resources, or, you know, whatever your story is about us. But it's like, honestly, there was so much strength and so much, there was so much that we had to like work through our own fear and jump through those very, you know, like jump through those limitations that anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Just, you know, are you drawing from your strength? Are you accepting that you're strong and that whatever happens, if your heart is calling you to something, you're going to be supported in it.
That's right.
It's one of the best fucking things you've ever done in your life. Like, I'm so grateful every day for what we've done.
Yeah.
So it's worth it.
And I wanted to just circle back to what you said about whatever people think, like you and I, oh, well, they've got this or they've got that. I mean, I don't know if people realize, like, my husband died after 7 years of an illness. Like, everyone, I feel like, looks at me now and it's just like, oh, like Lisa has this, or Lisa lives in Maui, or da-da-da-da-da. Like, yeah, but do you know, like, and the same with Goldyn, like what Goldyn went through.
And we walked through, yeah.
I mean, we've walked through the frickin' fire to be where we are now. And that's why we're here sharing this information, because we want others to be able to get there without having to walk through the fucking fire.
Right. Without having to do it so hard.
You know? And so it's like, it's simple. It's simple when you, and then another big piece of this is accepting that you are worthy of receiving what it is you desire. That was a big piece for me. Even with everything that I have, I still didn't feel worthy.
Yeah.
Until I did. And it's like, it's just an instantaneous shift. And once you shift, that's when it starts flowing.
Yeah. And it's a shift that comes through the work that you've done, you know, through the healing work, through digging down, through working with your feelings, working with those triggers, and releasing the stuff that no longer serves you.
Yeah.
You know, and creating from that awareness, you know, going into meditation every day, going into that inner space every day. Like, these are things that we tell you guys that we're doing. You know, it's like, we're not just telling you to do it. We're doing these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we are where we are.
Exactly. All right. And our outcome card, I got empowerment.
Ooh, I got perfection.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like you just said, it's doing the work, it's perfecting it. It's you know, the perfection is the doing it, the empowering, and just empowering yourself up, you know, to do it. Because without it, if you just think about it and want it, it never comes.
No, because you're wanting is the lack of it.
That's right.
You know, one of the biggest realizations that we had before we moved here was the fact that we were just sitting and waiting. You know, we were sitting and waiting for something to happen, and there was a move forward that we had to do in order to start creating and start witnessing miracles. And when you start to move forward, you're going to feel and see the energy starts to support you. Mm-hmm. So whether it's you want to move somewhere or it's a new job that you want, you're going to get signs. There's going to be signs, and you're going to go, oh, and I can really get a feeling energy. I don't know if most people are, but I can feel when energy starts to shift, and you can feel flow. You can feel things start to flow towards what you want to create. And that makes you build more confidence. But if you're just sitting there waiting in the lack of everything you want, you can't go anywhere. Yeah. I did that for 4 years. It was so frustrating. But in those 4 years, there was preparation going on. I was meditating to the waves of California. I was imagining myself there. I was feeling myself there. And I mean, what's 4 years, right? In the scope of a lifetime, it's not that long. Mm-hmm. The perfection that we feel being here now and the life that we've created here now is worth all the pain. everything that we endured. And now we're confident in our ability to manifest. So that's also what comes when you take those leaps of faith and believe in yourself and believe in the power that you have to co-create with God, the universe, source, whatever it is. I think people forget, I think people just forget. And I think we do too sometimes, that we have this co-creative partnership, You got to remember that, especially right now. It's so important to draw on that, to draw on the miraculous, to believe that things can play out exactly the way we want them, better than we want them to right now.
Well, and that's another with the empowered perfection that you had is it is always perfect. It always, and it's better than you can imagine. It's and it's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, like me meeting Steve, like really, like, yes, I put in my order and I got everything plus. And I'm like, what?
I know up until a few weeks ago, you were still saying like, is this too good to be true?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's been 8 weeks now. So I feel a little more confident and, we've obviously gotten to know each other better. And so that's why, I was definitely not wanting to come out about it super right away because I didn't know what was happening, but wow.
Well, yeah. And you don't, I mean, you got to feel good about it before you talk about things anyways. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. So,
I love when miracles happen.
It is. It's amazing. I'm super happy.
And it's totally possible for anybody.
It is. And that's the fun part. And I think that's why you and I are doing this. This is why we're teaching. This is why we're so passionate about it, because we want everybody to have the love of the life. We want everybody to have all the abundance and money and cars and houses and, and just their heart's desire. Whatever your heart's desire, we're here to support you and help you in that.
Yeah. And show you that it's possible.
And my whole body is lighting up with chills because yes, that's why we're here. This is why we're doing it. This is why we're YouTube sensations.
That's right. That's right. That's why we feel so passionate about this information, because we know how life altering it can be. And we've seen many people change their lives through using this avenue. I mean,
woo, the wind is agreeing.
One thing that's happened to me recently, and I don't even think I shared this with you, I had a shift with my body, and this was crazy because I've been working out pretty religiously my whole life, but I've had this roller coaster going on for a long time. And a few years ago, I kind of said, okay, I'm done with the roller coaster ride. Like, I'm going to be this girl who is in shape and she's fit. And I've done well with that. I've done well with that philosophy, but I also had this belief system that as I got older, it was harder to lose weight. I'm 47. I'll be 48 this year. I think I keep losing track. So I worked with a trainer last year, like over the holidays. I worked with a trainer, and she had me like on this real strict plan, and I was charting my food and exercising. I was completely bored just exercising in my house. And and then I found this other program. This has been my thing, find programs. Well, this program before, I started to gain weight on that program, and I was like, God, like nothing is working. That was my belief system, and started to gain weight and just felt awful. And I'm not even overweight. I've never been overweight, but so then I find this guy on Facebook, and he's completely shifted not only my life, but every belief system I ever had about being older and not being able to lose weight. So I started working out with him like 2 months ago, and I'm in the best shape I've been in probably since I was like in my 20s. But the interesting thing is, I had a couple weeks there with him where I didn't drop any weight, and I was working out. I'm working out really hard. I like to work out hard though. It's something that I lost for a little while, and I love it. And we're doing it in a group, and it's so fun. So, and now I'm doing it in my house again, but he's on video, so it's helpful. So a couple weeks ago when I started doing this Neville stuff, I started picturing that body that I wanted, and I am floored at what's happening. And I'm still tracking my food, and I'm still exercising, and I'm still doing the things, but I'm no longer doing this like I can't lose weight. It's really hard to lose weight. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just visualizing. And I can't even believe what's happened. Like, I literally look like I did in my 20s.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So that's been a huge shift, and you can totally do it with your body. In anything that you're doing, I haven't gotten to the point where I could do it without exercising or eating right yet. When I figure that out, I'll be a bazillionaire, sell that program.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was a huge mind shift. And I noticed, I mean, the weight has kind of been pouring off of me. In fact, he saw me the other day and he was like, you lost weight, didn't you? And I was like, yes, I did. And then I went on the machine because I haven't been able to find out if I actually lost weight. And I did. I lost a considerable amount of weight. And I was like, okay, it's a mind thing. It's a mind thing. It's like you got to have it all together. It's like a balanced, So if you're struggling with your weight, you got to pay attention to what you're saying to yourself, because if you're saying things to yourself that are keeping you from exercising and keeping you from eating correctly, I mean, you got to eat healthy, right? I mean, food is fuel. And if you're not doing those things at least, and you're beating yourself up and you have a lot of limiting self-talk, then I mean, weight is heavy energy anyways. It's heavy emotion. So I've done a lot of clearing of that too, but it's all possible.
It is. Well, and I just want to add, because it's hard for me to even talk about it because I've not had a weight problem. And
I know Lisa glazes over when I talk about this.
No, I don't glaze over. I just think, how can I add to this conversation? Because my mindset, I've never had a mindset that I'm going to gain weight, or that it's hard to lose weight, or that I can't eat whatever I want. And I don't know, but maybe, is it just me, or is it my mindset? I don't know.
I think it's your mindset, because we talked about this and how I grew up and how my mom was always dissatisfied with her body. And I was always dissatisfied with my body. I was dissatisfied that I was too thin when I was younger. I was very thin growing up. People used to tell me that I was too skinny. And so that became a dissatisfaction with my body. And then as I had kids and saw what my mom went through as she got older, I took on those mindsets of, once you have kids, it's hard to lose weight. And I've really never had a hard time losing weight until I got into like my 40s. And then I think that,
again, the mindsets are so strong though around that, especially if you're in it, you know what I mean? Like you're at the gym, or you're, whatever program you're in, it's always, you're talking about it. You're focused on it. So
yeah. And I've been able to really let it go, I think, through this time of being home and not being as obsessed with it, and just kind of letting myself, do the exercises that he's giving us, and kind of eating, and just, just tracking my food, and not being like, not eating for emotions, which I think a lot of people are doing right now.
That's
not
another
drinking.
thing.
I mean, not having alcohol in my life, I think is huge too, because I'm not constantly slowing down my metabolism.
Yeah.
But so many factors, but the biggest factor was the belief system, because I watched my body shift within like 2 weeks. I was like,
that's amazing. That is so cool.
My abs, what?
That is awesome.
I've never worked my abs like this before, but I can see them now, and I can see why people work their abs now.
Yeah. That is so cool. It's so funny because I just started adding abs to my yoga workout. When you were here, I had just started them maybe this year, doing leg lifts and side whatever. I don't even know, but it's made a big difference, because I mean, my when I had my baby, it was a big thing, but I was huge because she wasn't able to swallow the amniotic fluid. And so it just kept building and building. And she had to have surgery. I mean, she nearly died when she was born. So it was a really awful experience, but I had huge stretch marks because of that. And it's been the one part of my body that I haven't been happy with. But wow, doing the ab work, I'm like, what? That little stretchy.
He has us doing, so you do that, where you fold up your arms and your legs, but then you hold it for 10 seconds. We did 10, holy cow. We did 10 of those 4 times today.
Wow.
So you do the isometric, or iso, whatever you call it, but that works really well.
So you do like the V where you come up and you hold it for 10?
And then you hold it and you kind of keep yourself up, and it just burns. You just burn.
All right, cool. I'm going to add that.
This is abs 101.
That sounds good. I'm going to add that.
I'll tell you what, moving your physical body, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
How strong I feel, how easy it is for me to go hiking and walking and running. Like, my cardiovascular system is like, it's so fine-tuned right now. And the cool thing too about this gym that I'm going to, I've gotten to go in a couple of times. People may think I'm crazy, but it's a small group of people and I don't have fear. So I've gotten to go in a couple of times, and like these people I work out with are probably in their 30s, maybe. and I'm right there with them. And that just makes me feel so good. Like there is no age, you know, like
right.
we can condition our bodies to anything that we decide.
I love it. I love it. Well, it's funny you say that because Steve and I are both 53, and he's got a great yoga practice. And I guess he said, yeah, I love going into the yoga thing in the yoga studio. And usually Saturday mornings, there's like the guys with their girlfriends, and they're in their 30s or whatever. And so he'll do like push-ups, and the guys are kind of looking at him like, who's this old guy with the gray hair, doing push-ups. And then about halfway through, he's still just rocking the push-ups, and the guys are just like on the floor because, they don't work out as much or whatever. So it's fun to be able to, at this age, keep up and be fit and
show people that there is no age. And that's the one thing that this trainer has done for me, is like, he's taken me beyond my own beliefs, like he ups all my weights. He, puts the treadmill really high. Like the other day I had to hold on, I almost fell off, and I was like, he really believes in me. And
right. That's awesome.
Believe more in myself, so find somebody like that who really inspires you. And it will change your life. And find something that you love to do, because I love this workout so much. It sets me on such a high vibe for the day that it literally has gotten me through this time, like in a really productive.
That is so cool.
It feels good, yeah.
And I want to say too, I just met this nice guy at the beach, and he walks by, and he's in his 70s or 80s. He's an older guy, and he swims like across the ocean. But he said he couldn't get out. He was walking up, and a little wave like took him down, and he was sitting in the water and couldn't get up.
Oh
and
my
so,
God.
There's Mike. Hey, Mike.
There's Mike.
So
Hi,
I'm just,
YouTubers.
hey. So another reason.
Come back. I always come back.
Yay.
Yay.
Another reason to keep fit is so you can get up when you're 80 years old. And
exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
We keep fit.
Nice.
He doesn't even have to try.
Look at those guns.
Tan.
Yeah.
Farmer's tan.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got to get back to Maui here.
I know.
They won't let us over there anymore.
Straighten out that tan. As soon as they open back up, we're there.
Yeah.
We're on a plane.
I want to clean my butt.
Thanks, babe.
Keeping it real.
Oh my God, he's keeping it real.
Okay, good.
Thanks,
Good.
So your guy was saying that that's how he keeps fit.
Well, no, I was saying that's why we need to keep fit, because he couldn't get out of, he said, if some lady hadn't come and helped me get out of the water, he's like, I'd still be.
I would have drowned.
Right. It's so scary. So like, we need to keep fit and keep our abs, like there's more reason.
I watched my grandmother do that, and I watched her balance go down and all of this stuff. And it's like, that's things that we work on. We work on balance. We work on just keeping our muscles really firm.
Exactly. It's so important, not just to keep fit and thin and healthy, but like as we're all getting older, we need to keep our balance and our all of that.
To be able to like just walk around. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people take their physical bodies for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And, hopefully this whole thing will show people that our health is really important, and that's something that we can control.
Yeah, it is. Right now, that's one of the few things we can control, and it's moving your body and what you put into it to eat.
Men and your mind.
Yeah, and your mind.
Yeah.
Those are, I like it.
I miss Facebook, but not enough to go back to it right now. So
no, that's good.
Hopefully it will come back, but hopefully I won't actually have the habits that I did before, because they probably weren't really productive.
That's right.
Yeah. I think that one of the things for me with Facebook is just the virtual connections are wonderful, but they don't take place of the physical connections for me.
Yeah.
And I think this next year, I'm really going to focus more on the physical connection.
I agree. I think we've lost track of that in our society, and it's time to take that back. So
yeah, because these aren't true. They're not true connections.
Mm-hmm.
I've met a lot of people that I met on Facebook, and then I met them in the physical and decided I didn't really want to be friends with them. So the Facebook's like, we're getting perceptions of people, but we're not necessarily really knowing who these people are. So, so I think it's important for us to get off the virtual and come to our Hawaii retreat and meet us.
That's right. That's right. Meet us in person.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we'll do the work together and up level completely.
For sure.
So excited.
All right.
So we're
all
good.
Right. That's all for today, guys. Be sure to stay tuned and check us out on our podcast and our Facebook group, The Real Ones on Facebook. And thanks for joining us.
Wednesday.
That's right. Peace.
Love you.